Thanks for joining us today. It's Kim at Carolina Sewing Back. We're going to bring to you a project today that's going to show you how to use your button sewing foot and your buttonhole foot. So many times when you get to the end of your projects, you simply are intimidated by putting that buttonhole foot on and sewing those buttonholes. But it's really easy with your baby lock machines. Your A foot, which is your buttonhole foot, has an adjustable tray in the back, so it measures your buttonhole for you. So it's a no miss every time. The M foot is an odd looking foot, and a lot of people don't know what it's for, but it actually sews buttons on, and it is great. I want to show you how to use both of those today, but instead of just showing you that, I wanted to bring a project to you too. So here's the project we'll be working on today. It's a casserole cover. It covers a standard 8 by 9 by 13 casserole pan, and it was actually born in my kitchen so many years ago. I was really quickly having to run out the door, and I had a pan I just needed a little bit of cover for to keep my hands from getting burned. So I took a standard kitchen towel, you can see that's all we have here, and I took 2 buttons and put 4 buttonholes in and took a standard kitchen towel and completely transformed it. So what we have is, I like to use the nice hand towels made by Dunroven House. We carry a good selection of those at Carolina Sewing Back. They're super absorbent, they wash up great, and they look pretty. They come in so many different colors. So you can take a simple towel and 2 buttons, and with 4 added buttonholes, you have a casserole cover all stitched up for you. The way that it comes together is like this. Fold your hand towel in half, and this is going to show you with my right sides together. I'm looking at the wrong side. You can mark this area. This is where you're going to sew your buttons on at. They're going to be located right dead center of your hand towel. So on any hand towel, right sides together, mark it, stitch your button right in place. And then you're going to add 4 buttonholes. Now let me tell you where these are going to be located. The first set is located right on the top of your casserole cover. So right at the very top you can see we have 2 buttonholes, one here and one here. And then we have one more set 3 inches down on the opposite end. Measure 3 inches down and start with your first buttonhole here and your second buttonhole here. Now when you're all done, you simply just button your casserole cover up, flip the top piece on, slide your pan right inside, button up, and you're ready to head right out the door. Now stay with me. We're going to actually show you how to sew the buttonhole and use the button sew-on foot to make this project even easier. So using our A foot is our buttonhole foot. The M foot is a milky colored foot that actually sews the button on. So this is our buttonhole, button sew on, buttonhole, button sew on. The buttonhole is a huge foot, but it's a wonderful foot. It has an adjustable tray in the back where you lay your button and you move that down, and that adjustment actually measures the length of your buttonhole. Now that ensures us that when we've sewn our buttonhole, it's going to fit the button that is on our garment or our project. And the way that works is, see this area right here between these 2 posts? We have a mechanism that comes down from our baby lock that rides in between these. When he gets to the back, it kicks him back forward to the front. When he gets here, he knows he's done and he can bar tack. You're going to see this foot in action in just a moment, and I'm going to show you how this works. But sometimes I need to know exactly how something works before I can trust it to do what I need it to do. The button sew-on foot has a tray in the front that holds your button. Holds it right in place for you so he can't go anywhere. And then the way that these attach is, I know for a lot of new sewers, you can look right at the side of your machine. This is called the ankle, okay? The ankle of your machine has a button in the back that will drop your feet right off. So you put your feet on and off, by just lifting that foot. Touch the button, the foot drops. Lower the ankle, the foot attaches. Now how in the world does it attach? There's a bar on all of your feet. You can see on this one, this metal bar. This metal bar grabs inside the ankle. So the ankle comes down, grabs the bar, that's what holds it to the machine. When you release the button, that's what allows the foot to be released off the ankle and drops to the side. So right now, let's go ahead and put our buttonhole foot on. And it looks so big, but it fits on just like all our other feet do. The ankle drops on and it's simply attached so quickly. There's one measuring device that comes down from the top of your machine. It's the only thing that's located up there, and he is what rides in between these two posts that tell us the length of our buttonhole. So this gray piece, what it needs to be located in the back portion of this front post. Once you've selected a buttonhole, I'm just going to select a regular bar tack buttonhole today. When you lower your foot and you begin to sew, you'll notice that your baby lock does what we call like a straight stitch, a stay stitch on the left-hand column. It'll come back on top of that stitch with a second stitch and then begin to sew your satin stitch. That's what it's doing now, and keep your eye here on this gray piece. It's going to hit that back post, and then it knows it's time to come back and do the right-hand column, and that's what it's doing now. Gets to the back, it bar tacks and is sewing in place. That's tacking off. I can trust it to be done, touch my scissors, and it's complete. That's how fast you sew a buttonhole on your baby lock. Remember that that tray is measuring that button, so now you have an exact buttonhole for your button. Let me give you a little trick. All my buttonholes, I fray check those before I cut them, and wait about an hour before you cut. And I put a pin in the bottom edge of one side of the buttonhole. Go in with your seam ripper and cut straight up. And how many of you have ever got cut happy and cut all the way through your buttonhole? A lot of us have. When the pin is there, it stops your seam ripper so you get a perfect little hole. And then your button, this is the real test, fits snugly through perfectly. Now, how in the world do we get our buttons on? Let's use our M foot today and sew the button on, and you'll see how fast that's done. So many times when we purchase ready-made clothing, we already find the buttons are falling off. If you pull that string just right, it'll fall right off, so with thread or whatever. So the way that the button sew-on foot works is you place the button in that front metal tray. There's a button sew-on stitch, and it looks like a round circle with a line in the middle of it. You can lower your foot and gently pull your hand wheel towards you to make sure that your needle is going in the holes of the button. And this will sew your button on. If your needle is not traveling through those holes, your needle will hit your button and could possibly break your needle or your button or both. Look at that. It's attached so fast. Sometimes we have flat buttons that have 4 holes, so let me show you how we do those. The button slides into the M foot again. We're going to work with the first set of holes that are towards us first. And we've got those going good. And your baby lock's going to stop, tie off, you'll feel it. Tie in place, raise the needle, pull this fabric towards you slightly until you can see those 2 holes in that M foot window. And now you're ready to do that second step. It's tying it off, hit my scissors, everything's complete. Look how easy that was on our baby lock to use our M foot to sew our buttons on, and to use our A foot, our buttonhole foot, to sew a button on, sew a buttonhole. So today's project really gives you some practice with those. So don't forget to get your kitchen towels out, add your buttons and your buttonholes on, and stitch it up fast. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you'll join us for more videos. It's Kim from Carolina Sewing Back.